All right, let's jump right in. So, if you've ever played around with an AI chatbot, you know they're pretty powerful, right? But they're also kind of like a hammer, a tool you have to pick up and use every single time you need it. But what if your AI assistant was more like a coworker? One that's running 24/7, working for you in the background and living right there on your own machine. Well, that is the promise of OpenClaw, and it's totally changing the game for how we tackle really complex tasks, especially something like academic research. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about the old way of doing research, the endless search. Then, you'll meet your new digital assistant. We're going to explore how to train it using a skill app store, and then see it in action automating a full literature review. After that, we'll cover the important fine print, the power, price, and precautions. And finally, we'll ask the big question, what does this mean for the future of discovery itself? Okay, first things first. Let's set the stage by talking about a process that, well, anyone in academia or research knows all too well. I'm talking about the manual, painstaking grind of just finding the right information. I mean, it's a universal feeling, isn't it? You've got this great research question, and then boom, you're suddenly facing this absolute mountain of articles, papers, and preprints. The sheer volume of information can be completely overwhelming before you've even really begun. You know the drill. The traditional process is this endless loop of tedious, repetitive tasks. You're manually searching databases like Google Scholar or Archive. You're sifting through pages and pages of results, trying to find what's actually relevant. You spend hours reading and synthesizing, and then every single time you find a promising new citation in a paper, you have to start the whole cycle all over again. Yeah, it works, but man, is it time-consuming. Now, what if we could just flip that entire model on its head? Let's introduce a totally new way of working by thinking of OpenClaw not as a search engine, but as your own personal, dedicated research assistant. So what is OpenClaw exactly? Well, at its core, it's an open source framework for building these AI agents. But here's the crucial part. It runs locally, on your computer or your own server. This isn't some website you go visit. It's a persistent digital coworker that you actually own and control, and it's working tirelessly for you in the background. And this slide just perfectly illustrates the difference. Think about it. Conventional AI just waits for you to give it a command. OpenClaw works proactively, 24/7. Conventional AI lives on some company's servers, you're just borrowing their tool. With OpenClaw, you own and control it. It's your data, your rules. You know, it's like the difference between visiting a public library and having a personal librarian living in your house constantly organizing your books for you. But here's the thing. Your new assistant, it doesn't know how to do everything right out of the box. You have to train it. And the way you do that is through something called skills.
Honestly, the best way to think about skills is to just imagine they're apps for your smartphone. You know, when you get a new phone, it can make calls and send texts, right? But then you go to the App Store and install apps to give it all these new abilities: navigation, social media, games. Skills do the exact same thing for your OpenClaw agent. They give it brand new superpowers.
And where do you find all these amazing skills? You head over to ClawHub. This is the official marketplace. It's basically the app store for your agent. It's this huge repository that's filled with thousands of community-built skills that can teach your agent how to do almost anything, from browsing the web to interacting with very specific academic databases. Okay, so we've got our assistant, and we've given it the ability to learn new skills. Now, let's put it to work. Let's give it its first big assignment, tackling that ridiculously tedious literature review we were just talking about. This is really the most important question, isn't it? How does this new way of working actually translate into getting research done faster, better, and way more effectively? So instead of you doing all that work, you just give the agent a goal. That's it. The agent, now equipped with the right skills, then just autonomously starts browsing Google Scholar. It searches repositories like Archive, which, is a massive server for research papers. It automatically applies filters to find only peer-reviewed studies, just like you would. And here's the best part. It doesn't just hand you a list of links. No way. It actually reads the papers and distills them into these structured notes, summarizing the key findings so you can spot patterns and gaps in the research almost instantly. It does all the grunt work for you. And what's the result? Well, this quote from a user pretty much says it all. Tasks that would take hours of manual clicking, reading, and filtering can be condensed into mere minutes. This isn't just a small, incremental improvement. It is a fundamental shift in the speed of discovery. Of course, with great power comes, well, a little bit of fine print. This kind of automation doesn't come without a few strings attached.
So let's take a clear-eyed, honest look at the responsibilities and considerations that come with running your very own AI assistant.
So it's really about balancing the pros and the cons here. On one hand, you get total control and ownership, 24/7 automation, and endless customization, which is amazing. But on the other hand, there is a technical setup required. This is not a simple one-click install. Also, depending on the AI model you connect it to, you could face API costs, which are basically just fees for using these powerful external AI brains. And those can add up fast. And maybe most importantly, because these skills are built by the community, you have to be really vigilant about security and carefully check out what you're installing.
All right, so for our last section, let's zoom all the way out and think about the bigger picture. Automating tedious work is one thing, but what does that truly unlock for us? For researchers, for creators, for thinkers? And that's really the question to leave you with. Just imagine an assistant that doesn't just do a one-time search, but is constantly scanning for new research in your field, summarizing it for you every single day. When all that time you used to spend on manual searching is just given back to you, what new connections will you be able to make? What novel ideas will you finally have the time to explore? That is the real future this technology promises. It's not just about automating what we already know, but about freeing us up to discover the truly unknown.